The vampire Remmick is the perfect villain for the movie Sinners. Being an Irish vampire, he uses the guise of allyship to lure in his victims. He is literally and figuratively trying to suck the culture out of them.
Oh, so that was crazy.
So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the character of Remmick, the hidden meaning, and all the symbolisms that Ryan Coogler used to establish his character. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will have all click the subscribe button as we hit the Irish jig together. The vampire Remmick isn't introduced until about halfway through the movie. By that point, we've been following the Smokestack twins trying to get their juke joint up and running while exploring the day-to-day lives of the people in the Mississippi Delta. Looking at the harsh realities of a post-slavery Jim Crow America, the movie itself would have been a great movie if that's all it was about. Them overcoming the evil, harsh reality of Jim Crow by doing something as simple as creating a juke joint for us, by us.
We farming our own chickens, homie.
Remmick doesn't appear until after the twins get the community to come together for the juke joint. From the moment we're introduced to the character of Remmick, everything we need to know about the vampire is in full display in his intro scene. The first time we see him is when he comes running towards the two KKK members' home while trying not to burn from the sun. When he tries to convince them to invite him into their home, he first tries appealing to their shared whiteness, but once he offers to pay them in gold against the Native Americans, they agree, showing that even though the Irish were not seen as white, they were still a step above the Native Americans. What makes this vampire so interesting is the fact that he is Irish. During that time period, white people in America were prejudiced against Irish immigrants and treated them like second-class citizens, almost to the same level that they treated black people. It was actually the Native Americans that gave the Irish the most support out of America. The Choctaw tribe specifically, the same tribe that was hunting Remmick in the movie, they stood in solidarity with the Irish during their great famine that they were suffering from in Ireland, even sending money to support them. Many Native American tribes felt solidarity with the Irish plight. The Irish, who were being colonized in their own lands, just like the Native Americans had been colonized in their own homeland. Taking it back to Remmick's intro, I think the natives that were hunting them initially welcomed Remmick among them, sticking to their form of solidarity. He most likely talked his way into their tribe by appealing to their shared plight. It's the same method that he used to talk the KKK couple into letting him in, and it's the same method that he's going to use later in the movie when he's trying to convince them to let him into the juke joint. By making Remmick an Irish vampire, he is the perfect villain for this movie because he embodies the same theme of duality that our main characters embody. Smoke and Stack are identical twins, the physical manifestation of duality right down to their outfit choices, which represents the dual worlds that they lived in Chicago. Stack with the Italian mob and Smoke with the Irish mob. We can even look at their choice in partners and their overall demeanor. Then you have a character like Mary. Mary, being a person of mixed race, also represents duality, the ability to live in both worlds, the white world and the black one, which is something that the vampire Remmick also has, showing his relatability, which is what he uses to manipulate his victims. When the Native Americans finally make it to the farmhouse, they try to warn the white folk about the dangers that they face if they've seen Remmick. But being that the white folk are actually KKK members and these guys are Native Americans, they dismiss the natives.
Thank y'all for coming. White power!
Even though they were there to warn them, but once dusk hits and the sun is about to set, the natives left, never to be seen again in the movie, with good reason. Another thing I want to note is the fact that it was daytime when they were chasing Remmick. To me, this was a small hint to the ending of the movie. At the end of the movie, Smoke dies fighting off the KKK, stopping them from going inside the mill house. The reason that they found the doors locked was because the vampire Stack was inside of it. Smoke was protecting his younger brother one last time, which is why Smoke made sure to stay behind and kill every member of the KKK. He knew he was going to die and he was okay with it, which brings us back to duality. Without his other half, he couldn't even roll his cigarette to smoke on a fresh pack of Remmick. The vampire Remmick is the worst type of predator, one that chooses to hide behind the guise of solidarity and friendship in order to get what he wants, showing that he's here to dominate and not integrate. He doesn't stand in solidarity like he claims he does, which is the worst hurdle to overcome. After the characters overcame everything they did to open one simple juke joint. And you know the vampire Remmick did this out of his own selfish greed. Because on the flip side, you had Smoke, who made the vampire Stack promised that he would not bother Preacher Boy, showing that these vampires are not bloodthirsty and can control themselves, which means Remmick had a choice. Stack kept his promise, while Remmick just lied to everyone and slaughtered them behind the guise of friendship and support. This intro has shown exactly just how manipulative he is, as his predatory nature shows how his understanding of the social dynamics of the time are used by him to survive and dominate. But by being Irish in America during that time period, his social standing allowed him to infiltrate not only the Native Americans because of their shared history, he did it with the KKK members. By using a false sense of solidarity to relate to the Black American experiences of the Black characters in the juke joint, what the first half of the movie did before the vampire attack was show us the lives of Black people living in the Mississippi Delta during the Jim Crow era, the harsh reality of the sharecroppers, the chain gang, and we're even introduced to the Chows, Chinese Americans living in the South at the time. If you notice, when we're introduced to the Chows, they own 2 grocery stores across the street from each other. That's because the store that Smoke goes into is the Black only store, while across the street is the white only branch of their store.
Good morning. Do you want the fried rice, the egg roll, or the steamed pork lamb chop?
Showing that even when the Chinese were lumped together with the Black folk at the time, they still had more privileges than Black people. The same thing can be said about the Irish. It's this hierarchy that enables Remmick to be as dangerous as he is. Even though the Irish were treated terribly, they were indentured servants and not slaves. That is one of the biggest differences between the Black experience and the Irish experience, which Remmick didn't really differentiate, which is why he couldn't ultimately relate to the Black experience. After slavery was abolished, the sharecropping system was pretty close to slavery as you can legally get. If you check out the 13th Amendment of the US Constitution, you'll understand the symbolism behind the chain gang. All that to say, even though they were paid, the money that was used to pay them was emphasized twice in the movie. Once with Smoke and Annie, and the other time with the wooden tokens at the juke joint. Take that and juxtapose it to Remmick, who had gold to pay with instead of wood, or currency that isn't recognized outside the local plantations. While Black people and the Irish were both treated terribly by colonizers, even having similar tactics used against them, and there was a form of solidarity when the Irish could not lean into their whiteness, the differences were there. But the real danger comes from his ability to blend into all of these cultures. The promise that he offered sounded good, a form of peace and unity against their shared oppressors. But Remmick is also a part of that repressive class because he's also oppressing these characters, but he doesn't see it, which makes him that much dangerous. And if he does see it, it makes him even more dangerous. If you look at the historical context of Black Americans, along with other minority groups, no matter the group, no matter the solidarity, the ones who always get the short end of the stick are Black people. Remmick knows this because he used it to his advantage. We saw him use it to his advantage when it came to the Native Americans, and he would use it again against Black folk. His true intentions are aligned with the creature that he is, and that's a vampire. Vampires are bloodsuckers who drain the life force, the very essence of a person. With Remmick, it's not just blood he wants, it's their culture, their art, their stories, and their future. That metaphor transcends the movie Sinners, as it's happening to Ryan Coogler right now, almost like a distorted mirror to the very theme that he created for this movie. Ryan Coogler had a bidding war between studios for the right to make the movie Sinners, and in his contract, he negotiated to get a percentage of the movie's earnings even before the movie makes a profit. Also, after 25 years, he gets the rights to the movie back, meaning he gets to own his art. This allows Ryan Coogler to keep his art, his story, and his universe that he created. But if you look at the narrative in the media surrounding the deal, it's very negative. Yet Coogler isn't the first person to have this type of deal. The only difference between Coogler and others are,
I think that a lot has been made of my deal in particular. I'm not totally sure why.
This be yet another reminder that no matter how much money you got, you still just a nigga.
The Hollywood studio system is all about profit over people. Just like a lot of studios don't care about the culture, Remmick too didn't care about the culture. He cared about his culture for sure, because when he started dropping that Irish bop, it made me want to dance. I didn't know the Irish could get down like that, I'll be honest. But that's his culture taking the forefront. He did not want to share or participate in their music. He wanted to take it for himself. The beauty about the blues was that it was created to express the shared cultural experiences that was universal to black people suffering. The music was about struggle, about connecting the past with the future. If he would have participated in enjoying it, instead of trying to take it for himself, he could have experienced that magic. While Sammy was playing his music, we saw the magic in action. The magic of the music wasn't limited to just black people. The Chows, who are Chinese, had their ancestor spirits connected by the music as well. Remmick, who is Irish, who has his own cultural music, could have simply shared in the experience, but he's a vampire. He wanted to take and hoard their music for himself along with his own, leaving them with nothing. He was going to kill everyone in the juke joint, turning them into his vampire followers, showing it was always about subjugation and not about camaraderie. Remmick isn't evil because he's a vampire. He's evil because he is human in all the worst ways. Being able to straddle the fence between every group in America at the time, Remmick being an Irish vampire was the perfect combination to terrorize Jim Crow America, using his shared skin color to manipulate and integrate with the white power structure. The first half of the movie was about everyone coming together, everyone in the Delta coming together to open this juke joint. What makes Remmick so great as a villain is he was a part of that community. Because he was a part of that community, he tried to tear it apart for his own good because he can balance in between two worlds. But guys, that's just my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts about the movie. And when you first watched the movie, did you at all feel sympathetic to Remmick? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, peace.